G'day and welcome to another episode of 3-Minute Histology with Jamie Chapman. Today we're going to be looking at the pyloric stomach. So if you've seen the earlier videos, we've already looked at the cardioesophageal junction and the body of the stomach. Now we're moving onwards towards the pyloric stomach. So let's begin our timer. So once again, if we have a look at the lower mag features, we can see these big folds in the stomach, and these are folds of both the mucosa and the submucosa. So these are rugae. These are non-permanent folds in the stomach that enable the stomach to expand to accommodate food as it passes through. Now, one of the major features of the pyloric stomach is that when we actually have a look at the mucosa, we can actually see that the gastric pits are really deep. They're the deepest out of all three regions that we identify histologically in the stomach. We can see these big long line of simple columnar cells. These are surface mucus cells, and they secrete a protective mucus onto the surface. And the glands which are present, and this is a glorious one here. Look how this is sort of twisting away. So this is evidence of a simple coiled tubular gland, and it's quite rare to actually get the gland in its entirety like this. So I thought this is really rather quite special. What we can see in terms of its composition, however, is we can see that these are mucus secreting cells. So these are mucus neck cells, and they secrete a mucus very similar in structure to that being produced by the surface mucus cells. Another cell type which is found within these glands are the Antero endocrine cells. Now, they're not always as easy to identify histologically with normal light microscopy. So here we have lamina propria. We can see that the glands aren't particularly dense, just like we saw in comparison to what we saw in the body of the stomach. So there's relatively large amounts of lamina propria here. Here we have the Muscularis Mucosa, and then we have the submucosa. So this is one of those rugae we were talking about. So here's the submucosa. See the larger blood vessels and things within this region. Then we have the tunica muscularis, or the muscularis externa, and you can see this is all just smooth muscle. These are smooth muscle nuclei, and if we keep going, we can see the slightly different orientation out here of the outer longitudinal layer. Now, we've got a little bit of artifact happening up the top of this section here, so we can't really see the top of the stomach very well, but if we would actually see it, we would see a line of serosal cells or mesothelial cells, simple squamous epithelium that provides a smooth, frictionless surface. In these regions here, we can see these connective tissue between our two various layers of smooth muscle, and these large basophilic cells. These are likely to be neurons, so these are part of the enteric nervous system associated with the gastrointestinal tract. So that's pretty much it. I think that's quite quicker than a normal 3 minutes. That's the pyloric stomach, and I hope you found it useful.